Hello and welcome to Go-to-Market Foundations. I've created this series to help founders and senior decision makers in startups and innovative SMEs. My experience is that success with an innovative product needs a tightly integrated team, and that when the commercial realities driving the strategy are not understood, it can become a cause of friction and of frustration. So, my aim with this series is to introduce the key concepts clearly, giving the whole team, from sales to development, a common way to discuss the factors that shape your approach to the market. This video provides an overview of the content of the course so that you can quickly find the materials that will be most valuable to you. First, a little about me. I'm Alden. I'm a product strategy advisor at ValueLink Pro. This course is built on my 25 years of experience in taking innovative products to market as a software developer, product owner, and product manager. In that time, I've had some valuable insights and opportunities. For example, at TomTom, I was lucky enough to work with a very experienced product design team, and I was able to see firsthand the impact that good design has on user behavior and motivation. At Amino Communications, as I moved from development to product inside the same business, I got to see the same discussion from different perspectives, helping me understand that crucial interface between engineering and commercialization. And finally, working as a product owner has been excellent training in what really matters. As a product manager, you get to write the specification for what the business would ideally have. But as a product owner, you're at the sharp end of what happens when that vision bumps up against reality, the resulting compromises you need to make, and most importantly, why. The structure of the course matches your roadmap. The 5 key stages your business will pass through as you take an innovative product to market. For all businesses, this is the same rough shape. First, you develop a product, then you launch it, then there's a period of stabilization until you're ready to expand, and then finally it becomes how you respond to competition. Each business will move through these stages at different speeds depending on the specific challenges of your market, the product you're providing, whether it's B2B or B2C, whether you're creating a new market or entering an existing niche with some differentiated offering. But while the details will vary with your specific business, the core concepts generally apply. In this foundation series, I introduce concepts that will apply throughout the lifetime of your business, but are particularly acute at different stages. So I've grouped the concepts by the relevant phase. In the develop phase, the focus is on understanding what's possible, what's valuable, and the compromises necessary to join the two up. You start with a vision of a problem that's worth solving and an idea of how you can do it, and you end with some tangible product you can take to market. In the develop video, I explain 3 concepts that are particularly crucial to that process. Firstly, the concept of product itself and the way that it defines your business model and your pricing structure. Secondly, I talk about the role of product management and the process of compromise as a central part of product development. Finally, I talk about the concept of a minimum viable product, where this idea comes from, and how to apply it most effectively. Throughout development, you'll be testing your product with user trials, limited deployments, and whatever other means you can find to get some early feedback. But eventually, it's time to launch and see whether you really have the market fit you believe you found and whether your product is going to pay for itself. In the launch video, I first look at that question of market fit. What do we mean by it, and how do we know when we found it? Then I take a quick look at the complex problem of pricing. This is a deep topic, so there's only time to introduce some key concepts and terminology and some factors to consider before moving on to features and benefits, how to use your understanding of users and their needs to maximize the value you can get for the product that you've built. Once you've found market fit, it's time to grow, the part of a roadmap everyone gets excited about. But that makes it easy to overlook the intervening phase and one of the most important, stabilization. It's not until the end of the launch phase that you've secured market fit and fully defined the product that you're delivering. And in order to grow, you need to be able to deliver it repeatedly, confidently, and at scale. Stabilization is the work you do to make that possible, which depends strongly on what you're building. If it's B2B hardware, it might be all about supply lines and factory control processes, whereas a B2C SaaS product might be focused on platform compatibility with 1,000 different versions of Android. Whatever the product, three key themes will be present: understanding the cost of quality and how to find and stick to the right level for your business; prioritization and the difficult art of focusing your limited resources on the right prospects as the market opens up in front of you; and finally, the balancing act of investing in the platforms and architecture for the future versus shipping now. Once these challenges have been overcome and you can confidently deliver in volume and at scale, the next step is finding and reaching all those customers and closing the deal. So in the growth phase, I focus on sales. A B2B sales process will obviously have a very different flow and structure to B2C, but the fundamentals are common. Sales is always all about relationships. So the Grow video first looks at trust and how to build it. Then I look at the sales process itself and the use of funnels and qualification processes to control sales and development costs. This is less relevant for mass market B2C, but absolutely crucial for B2B operators to understand. Finally, I look at effective use of channels and partners to multiply your sales effort, one of the most powerful things a business can do to accelerate growth. As you grow your market, you draw attention to the opportunity, and as the market begins to saturate, competitive positioning becomes the dominant factor in your success. The more mature and the more connected the market you're entering, the faster this will happen. For an innovative startup or SME, compete largely falls into the class of good problems to have. If you become big enough for competition to be a significant factor, you've already succeeded. But your valuation depends on your control over the market you create, and that depends on the decisions you make while you're developing and growing your product. So in the compete section, I briefly discuss barriers to entry, from patents and intellectual property to partner relationships, and the extent to which they can help protect a market you've built from competition. And then the practicalities of your cost base in a world where every business is a global business and faces global competition. In this video, I also talk about what this means for the kind of products you should be developing if you're based in a high-cost, high-capability area like Cambridge, and I mention some tricks you can use to boost your effectiveness. So that's the Go-to-Market Foundations course. In Develop, how to handle the compromises involved in making a product. In Launch, how to find market fit, pricing, and using features and benefits to explain your value. While stabilizing your product prior to growth, I look at quality, prioritization, and how to lay strong foundations for growth without over-investing. And in the growth phase, I look at sales, building relationships, managing sales costs, and how to use channels and partners to multiply your sales power. Finally, in Compete, I'll look at barriers to entry and understanding your cost base. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you in one of these videos soon.